everyone, let's get ready for our glute toning workout. So for today's workout, we'll sit in an S-shaped sit. So my left leg is forward, my right leg is back. We'll come onto our forearm and float that right leg up. Notice my hip and knee are lined up. So my knee doesn't come in front of me, it stays in line with my hip. We're taking little tiny reaches back. Even though we are leaning on this left forearm, we still want to stay lifted out of the shoulder and lifting out of the left side of the body. As you take these little reaches back, you'll start to feel a tone through your hamstring and right underneath your tush. It's a small range of motion. We have a few more like this and we'll change up the pattern. As you're doing this work, see if you can turn off the top of the thigh. So it's not my leg pumping in and out. Instead, I'm using my hamstrings and right underneath my glute to send the leg back. You can be on the forearm or you can even come up to stretch that arm, whatever feels best for you. We have 4 more like this, 3 more, 2 more. Now from here, we'll send the leg back, lift it up an inch, down an inch, and back in line with the hip. Sweep the leg back, lift, down, in line with the hip. So even now, I'm still continuing to keep that leg in line with the hip so my knee never comes forward in front of me. We sweep the leg back, little lift, little lower, knee in line with the hip. Four more like this, and then we're going to go into a kneeling leg series. Last 2. We're going to continue to work the right leg, but let's turn on to all 4s. Knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. We're going to reach that right leg towards hip height, taking little tiny reaches towards the sky. Notice I said we're moving the right leg towards hip height. So that's our goal, but it's okay if the leg's a little bit lower. As you continue this work, find your neutral spine. So be careful you're not dipping down in your low back like this. Draw your navel to your spine so that you can support your low back. Remember, it's not about the leg pumping up and down. Instead, I'm using under my glute and the hamstring to float my leg up. 4 more like this. From here, we're going to cross knee to knee on an exhale. Inhale, extend that right leg long behind you. Exhale, knee to knee. Inhale, stretch the leg long. Try to keep your neck in line with your spine. Now notice as you do this work, are you dumping all your weight into your left standing hip? Let's try to lift out of the left hip. Last 3 like this, and we'll move on to circles. On the next one, keep the leg back. You're tracing little tiny circles in the air behind you. Go ahead and reverse those circles. They're really small. You're just feeling the top of your hip bone rotating in the hip socket. So these circles are not coming from the ankle or the knee. All the way from the top of the hip is where it's coming from. Last 3. We're going to come up to a standing squat in 2 more. Last one, come on up. Stand with the legs in a close parallel, so the legs are close together, no space in between those legs. Hands on the hips. Exhale, bend your knees and send your sits bones back. It's going to feel like you're sticking out your bottom. Imagine that you have a little fish hook underneath each sits bone. The fish hooks are going to glide you up underneath that tush to stand tall. Inhale here, exhale, bend the knees, send the sits bones back. Stand up nice and tall. A few more like this before we add in our gait exercise. As you bend your knees, your sits bones are going to broaden, but as you stretch your legs, your sits bones will narrow. Keep those legs close together, so eliminate the space in between your legs. Last 2 like this. One more here. On the next one, let's stay down. Stay down, going into gait. So that's just another word for walking. We're going to open up the front of our ankle. So right heel peels off of the mat. You come all the way up to the ball of the right foot. Let's switch. Left heel peels up. Come all the way to the ball of the left foot. Continue to alternate. 1 foot at a time. Notice that my back is not rounding here. I continue to send my sits bones long behind me so that I can maintain a neutral spine. That's the natural curve of the low back. Draw your navel towards your spine, away from your pant line. A few more like this. So here you're also working your balance and stability. 2 more. On this next one, let's keep one heel up, bring the other one up to meet it. Legs are kissing together. We're going to lower the pelvis down an inch and up an inch. Down an inch and up an inch. Your heels are not changing height. Keep the heels where they are. It's just the base of the pelvis moving up an inch and down an inch. You'll start to feel this work intensely right underneath the smile line of your seat. Last 4 like this. Last 3. 2 more. Heels down, stand all the way up. Let's get that kneeling leg work on the other side. So now we're on the hands and knees. It is our left leg that we're going to work first. So we'll do everything in the reverse on this side. Extend the leg long. We're taking little circles one direction. So notice if you're starting to make big circles. These circles are small. I like to imagine that I'm just tracing the inside of a coffee mug. So really small range of motion that keeps the back of the leg engaged for longer. Let's reverse the circles other way. In 2 more, we're going to go knee to knee and then extend the leg long. So exhale, knee to knee. Inhale, extend that left leg long behind you. Exhale, knee to knee. Inhale to stretch. See if you can draw your navel towards your spine so you're continuing to find length on the front side of your body as well. Last 3 like this, and we're going to take those little tiny reaches up towards the sky. On the next one, keep that knee bent. We're taking little reaches upward. Notice on this side, if you're sinking your weight into your right hip, try to lift out of the right side. We want to continue to shine our hip bones down towards the mat. So notice I'm not opening my hip out to the side. I'm keeping them shining down to the mat and taking those little lifts. Few more like this before we take our little S-sit exercise on our final side. Last 4, 3, 2, come on down. We're going to take that S-sit on the other side. So on this side, my right knee is bent in front of me, the left leg is bent behind. You can come onto your forearm or onto the palm, whichever feels best. We're going to reach that left leg towards hip height. We'll start in the reverse on this side as well. So we'll reach the leg back, float it up an inch, bring it down an inch, and bring it back so that our hip and knee are lined up. So we reach it back, lift it up, down, and in. Back, lift it up, down, and in. So whether you're on your right forearm or on the palm, send that palm or forearm into the mat so you can lift out of that shoulder. We want to get the shoulder away from the ear, keeping a long neck. We have a few more like this before we take those final reaches to finish on this side. Notice as you're doing this work that you have a connection through the rib cage, so careful you're not letting your ribs spill forward. I like to think that my rib cage is knitting together. What that does is it connects you deeper into the midline of your body, connecting you through your core. 2 more like this. 1 more like this. And from here, we're taking those little tiny reaches back to finish. I'm shaking so much on this side. Few more like this. Remember, you're trying to turn off the thigh, so it's not the quadricep doing the work, it's all in the back of the leg. The reason that your leg is able to move forward and back is because you're initiating that motion from your core. Few more like this. Final 4. Last 2. And come on out of that. Whew, we are done with our glute toning workout. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope your glutes feel nice and lifted and toned. If you have not already, please subscribe to my channel so you can continue to receive amazing Pilates workouts. And I'll see you next time. Bye.